Hey everybody, this is Marty with See on the Mountain. I hope you had a mountaintop experience day. Hey, we got the twins out here. We'll go take a look at them real quick. They like to come bed down by the. You see them over there? There's one little twin deer, baby deer. There's another one right there. Right there. There's Mama over here. See Mama. She's enjoying a nice meal before the sun goes down. It's about ready for the sun to go down here in the Pleasant Valley. Beautiful evening. I hope that you take the time out, spend some time outdoors every single day. And we got a channel on YouTube, Facebook called Increasing Outdoors. I'm going to give you a little update here. Didn't get to work the bees today. Had a lot of other stuff I had to get done. Busy day. A couple Bible studies with some awesome people. Clay Hart, got to study with him this morning. That's always a mountaintop experience. And got to study with Daryl and Peggy Derman this afternoon. And got a visit in with Mr. Bill Longmore. And did some work on the old Beehive Inn over yonder. Built back in 1883. There's the old bee truck right there. Old Yeller, the bee truck, 1972 Chevrolet pickup. I grew up with that old truck. Parents bought it when I was 5 years old. Look at the Blessed Eva hive. They finally made some space up there. Gave them that, let's see if I can point it out here for you. Big old finger. There's two supers on there. There's a big brood chamber on top. That big brood chamber's full, and I need to go through there and see if I can pull some frames out of there, extract them, and put them back in, and get some honey going here. So, yeah, it's... wanted to make a mention of, there's different kinds of beekeepers. There's people that only have a couple hives. I always recommend to the new beekeeper, someone getting into it, which we always want more new beekeepers. Come on. We want you folks to learn. We want to get as many of you as possible. And I always tell the very beginners, if you can afford it, and that's what we're trying to do here on See on the Mountain, make it affordable, you should have 2 hives. And the reason you have 2 hives, in case one dies. Sometimes they die. Or one is getting weak. You can use one like that Blessed Eva hive over there. You can take some resources from that hive and give it to the weaker hive. Get them going. And, it's kind of cool, too, if you can get some honey. A little bit of honey the first year. Usually out of packaged bees, they say you can't get honey. But I'm using the Canadian beekeepers technique, and also I think his name's, I can't remember his name. I need to find that for you guys. I'm sorry about that. I'll put it in the description of this video. A really fine young man up in Canada, and they take all the honey away from the bees and feed them up pollen patties and I believe sugar syrup at the end. I've never done that. I've always left a fair amount of honey for my bees, but they have based on the crops around them, they say it's actually better to give them a good dose of sugar water. It's easier for them to digest. So Delmont Acres doing good over here, and we've got the Joe Knutson hive. That's actually a split. I got a stronger hive and I split and put that in there. So we're just bolstering that hive up strong for the winter to get them through the winter. I'm not going to probably get any honey off that hive this year, but it's a split. Then we got the N. Jim Zackham hive. And based on what they're doing down there, if you can see, it's not even quite dark yet, but they're starting to get numbers to where they're starting to crowd the front. I call it the front porch. But anyway, they'll be crowding that out. They'll have a hatch here soon, and they'll be busting out. So I'm going to probably get a honey super ready for that. I'll lift this top one up. Let me get my finger in here. I'll lift that up and put the empty down below it and keep the queen excluder where it is. When we do that, we'll of course go through the hive and check for queen cells to make sure we're not have any queen cells going on there. And if we do, we'll either grab those queen cells and put them and start another hive, or we have to kill them. So I hate to do that. I hate to kill any of my queens. I feel attached to queens for some reason. I don't know why. I just always have. I have a friend that's a beekeeper, and she keeps about 50 hives. She's down south of me, down in Loveland. And she kills her queens every year and requeens every year. She splits the hives, requeens every year. And I can't argue with her. She normally produces a lot of honey. She's a honey producer. So look at this little Hoff swarm catch here. They're growing, and they've sucked down almost another bottle of sugar water. I'll probably put a feeder on top inside the hive. We're not in the dearth. We've been getting plenty of rain, and so we still got lots of nectar flow going on. And so we're just trying to catch as much nectar as possible to catch as much honey as possible. And it's just amazing, the provision of God. There's the Grand's hives for my grandkids there. We've got Atticus, Ippy. Let's see here. Then next is Lucy and Nancy and Donna. And another grandbaby on the way. So come November. And then we have my mom as the base of that hive, Sweet Caroline. The Sweet Caroline hive. So I know my mom would be so happy to have her grandbabies share a hive with her. So we got a few more hives coming on, a few more sponsors. We got a business sponsor coming on, and another memorial hive. Some very special hives coming on here pretty soon. So we checked our hives up north. I got 2 yards up north, and they're doing good. We checked them yesterday. I got them in the notes to make sure I remember to go back within 10 days. I'll probably run to one hive and take some resources to it. Look at this little baby deer over here just listening to me. She's just over there taking in the evening bee report here. What are you doing down there? You came to hear the evening bee report? Look at that little deer. They're usually more skittish than that, but I think they're starting to get accustomed to us. But they've been bedding down here. I think it's for protection with this electric fence. And she's got protection almost all the way around her. But look how she's just comfortable. So I guess I'll have a visitor here maybe every night when I give you the bee report. I've always in this bee yard. I've had this bee yard. I think I about 20 years, getting up on 20 years, and so these trees have really grown up around me. These are elm trees. I think they're either Dutch or Chinese elm trees. And they've really shot up. So I think I'm going to be, that tree right there, I'm going to take out. And then I'm going to take out one part of this tree behind here. But if these bees swarm, I've had them go way up there. And man, you can't hardly get them. The swarm tree generally is this little pine over here that's not so little anymore. They usually go right to that tree when they swarm. And I can catch them. But ever since I've been checking the hives, splitting the hives, I've started this technique, about 5 or 6 years ago. I haven't had nearly as many swarms out of my bees. And now that I'm doing the single brood chamber, you got to check them every 10 days. You got to go through them. The only danger in that, hey, little deer, I got to name you. You're just the cutest little thing, I tell you. What a blessing. A bee yard is just a blessing. Wow. I mean, we get blessing on top of blessing. You know, you get what you look for generally in life. So if you're looking for negative things, bad things, you're looking down in the gutter, down instead of up, that's what you're going to see. That's what you're going to find. And so I hope every morning you plan to get up, be thankful, be ready, plan your day out, pray over your plan, plan and pray again. Ask the Lord what you should do, the purpose of your life. Oh, let me give you a look at this big old bee box. I think what I'm going to do is put a big old flyer up here, with all the sponsors for the people that just help with bees, that encourages with bees, and just sponsor this whole thing. I've got me a new stand here. This is my new camera equipment here. It's a rigged together deal, but hey, it's been working. We'll get better with it and probably get some better equipment in the future. The little deer are running around playing now. Yes, there's 2 twins over there, and I don't know if the one that was watching me. No, the twins are over there. There they are. Let me show you. See the 2 twins right there? I believe those are the twins. They're a little bit smaller. I gotta shut that gate too. And then here's the single little deer over here. So I just love living here. Anyway, we got Bellevue Tower over there. See the Bellevue Tower? And the Poudre River runs right below that tower, and it arcs around over there. It's the Red Rock formations. This one makes the Pleasant Valley, and then it swoops around over there to Gray Rock and the lower mountains, and the Poudre Canyon is up there, and then this canyon straight up from that irrigation goes straight up. That's Wrist Canyon, and we swing around to the south there, and that's towards Lorry State Park, and Horsetooth Reservoir is off to the south of us, almost direct, 3 miles. Anyway, you ought to come see the beautiful Pleasant Valley and the beeyard and the deer running around here, and they just make themselves at home. We have a deer called Miss Pushy, and she'll walk up to you, and boy, she is pushy. She don't want to leave, start eating on your garden, and she tries to get in my yard every night, and I planted a lot of gardening there so I could protect it, but not working so well with her. There they are. That's blessed Eva hides. They're bearding up a little bit. I think they've worked their way in to that second super there, and doing really well. Anyway, I got a lot on the menu for tomorrow. I want to get up early and get things right with my mind and my heart and the Lord. And so I want to give you something, a little more here. Sometimes we think that we can only be successful in one area of our life, and I believe the Lord wants us to develop every talent that He's given us. Some people say, well, I can only be financially successful, and therefore my family must suffer. And well, if I'm good in my family, then my finances must suffer. And well, if I'm good in whatever area, if I'm good in sports, everything else suffers. If I'm good at taking care of my health and my family and my finances suffer. And that's really not that's not the ideal. That's not really what we're striving for. We need to be master every area of our life and bring it under the discipline of God and His ways. And He will help us. And sometimes if we ask Him, He'll help us redeem the time. He'll help us have the wisdom. James says, ask for wisdom, and He gives to us generously without reproach, James chapter 1. And so we just need to ask the Lord every day, before we go to bed and before we get up. Actually, after we get up, not before. Well, you can. I pray sometimes. I wake up and I pray. So you can pray before you get up that you'll use the day to the Lord's glory and to bless everybody and be successful in every facet of life. Why not have the cake and eat it too? Why not have your steak too and eat it as well, the whole steak? And life is good when you pursue Christ. He says that in John 10:10, He said, I came that you may have life and have it abundantly. The thief only comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And we through Christ have already overcome the thief. We are overwhelmingly conquerors. We're utterly triumphant. We have some little setbacks here and there. That little deer he's good at listening to sermons over there. Look at him, intently looking over there, not sleeping at all. That little deer is not sleeping during this little lesson. Look, he's just listening to me and taking it all in. Anyway, back to what we're saying. Pray and ask God to help you with wisdom, strength, endurance, focus, concentration on whatever you put your hand to, if it's of God, and within the Word of God, and it goes along with the Word of God, and God puts you where you are and at what time and place you are. Give it your all. Even if we're taking care of these bees, I'm not just doing it for me or for my family or for you all, or I'm ultimately doing this to the Lord. I want to encourage you. I want to take care of God's creation. I want to help save the little bees, nurture and take care of them and do what's best for them. And they bless this whole Pleasant Valley. They bless my neighbors over here. A lot of neighbors don't really even know it, that these bees fly over there and pollinate their flowers. And they fly everywhere around here. There's some farms around us, some corn farmers up there. There's Graves Dairy over there. There's Brewster's down south of us that farm. There's the Fishers that farm to not very far from here. And these little bees fly over there and help pollinate and take care of things. And so we're just trying to help folks with the bees. And we want to help you become a beekeeper or be a better beekeeper. And like I said, I don't know everything, but I've got beekeeping friends that I learned from. I learned from a man named Tom Thiebold. He wrote for the Fence Post, and he used to help me back in the day when I'd call. I'd leave a message on his answer machine. He'd call me back every evening about this time when he was done with the bees and give me instruction. And what he passed on to me is what I want to pass on to you. So if you like these videos, like, subscribe, share, and thank you, Clayton Johnson, for subscribing. And I've got some other subscribers. I'll try to mention all of you. I appreciate you. You're helping me build something for all of us. And I hope some of you will come visit me, show you the bee yard. We'll eventually have some classes out here. I'm trying to make an outdoor classroom right here and teach people in the beautiful Pleasant Valley, the land literally flowing with milk and honey. All right, this is getting long. I hope that you'll like, subscribe, and comment. I love your comments. And I will see you on the mountain.